I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call to quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way, cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all it is. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve, stress, seal my greed. That's how I get it. Success ain't no given. Some days I don't hit, I don't sleep. When I'm focused, I'm dangerous. Down, wonder when I'm anxious. Ain't no limit till I tank. I'm running on fumes. The opposition don't amaze. The roads racing through the pavement. Get your hands out of my bag. I know that's because I've been in it. I don't need to brag. I guess that's what happens when you taking care of your business. But some family, you do the math. I'm out of my pocket. Houston, we got a problem, man. Perfect, let them watch me. Elevating, got them nauseous. Cause I'm the pilot in the cockpit. Nose diving in the option. Woo! Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead. Watch how I get ahead.
It's time! Welcome to DFS by the Numbers with your host, Brady.
Better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out. Knocked out.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers. These are my final thoughts for UFC Vegas 53. We have Rob Font going against Marlon Vera. Very much looking forward to this card. Very sketchy card. Very, very sketchy card. We'll talk about it. Going to talk through some bets, some DraftKings, some weigh-ins, and all that good stuff. Going to be kind of a shorter show. This week has been so hectic for me. I'm trying to crunch this week's card in this week, and then next week's card, UFC 274, both into 1 week. And I've just been researching UFC 274 all day. I'm about halfway done with the card, but I will not be here the next Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Trying to be back in the game on Friday, but I'm getting married next week, so I'm going to be out of town. So just trying to get everything done out of the way. Again, I already have one bet for 274. I'm looking at another bet, just waiting for them to get some props out. But yeah, looking forward to this week as well. But I've been so busy this week. It's been crazy. I might not even be able to watch the card tomorrow. That's how busy I've been. But looking forward to it. Before we get started, as always, if you guys can please leave a like on the video, subscribe here to DFS by the Numbers. What I also did is put the link down to the MMA Engine in the description. If you're on DFS by the Numbers, please click that link over there. Check it out. Subscribe over at the MMA Engine. Me and Weezy do a probability show. If you have not seen that, go check that out. We went through all the props, fight goes, fight doesn't go, all the good stuff. And I will not be doing that next week. It's going to be Lou Betcha filling in for me. So yeah, it should be fun, a time. And I say we shout the chat before we get started. Not going to go insanely deep into a lot of these fights. I got to get out of here kind of early. George, first one in the chat. What is up, George? Hitting a parlay this week. That is the goal. Mushroom in the chat, as always. What's up, Brady? One more sleep until some violence. Let's go. We got David hanging out. What is up, David? How you doing? Lou Betcha in the chat as well. We got Jan, Philip, Quaver. We got the general taking notes as always. Mike in the chat. We got Andre. How's it going? It's going pretty good. How's it going for you? We got Suvari hanging out as well. Dale liking the intro music. Yeah, I do like it myself. Thank you a ton. Appreciate that, Dale. Appreciate that, Mushroom. Thank you, General. And thank you. I am the true walrus. I like that name there. Yes, sir. Getting married should be a very fun time. Appreciate that, Samuel. Appreciate that, Christopher. But I say we just start digging into the card here, and let's start with the first fight of the night. We're kind of out of order here, but we will go through it here. So we have Alexander Romanov going against Sherman. Broke this down last week, and yeah, this was a DFS player's worst nightmare. Not only did Dean Barry lose at 9,500 in the first round, making Mike Jackson optimal, but a couple fights later, it was announced that Sherman pulled out during lock, and a lot of people, I'm assuming, did go 100% in on Romanov, and why would you not? I was around like 75% Romanov, so I wasn't like completely dead, but obviously it did kill my lineups. So that was bad, but this fight should happen, and Romanov should go out here, take him down, and finish him shortly after. I do not see this fight leaving the first round. Chase Sherman got taken down and submitted shortly after by Jake Collier. I think that Romanov's, much better than Collier, much more dangerous than Collier. Chase Sherman's takedown defense is pretty good, but, one takedown is all it's going to take. Chase Sherman, I don't think he's prepared for this fight. And even if he was prepared for this fight, I still think it would be same result. Takedown, fights over shortly after. It's unbettable, though, minus 2,500 for Romanov. On DraftKings, I do like him a lot. I have a ton of them. I have more of Romanov this week than last week, and that's because last week's 9K range was pretty good. You had a Richie Long up there. You had Tyson Pedro up there. This week, the 9K range is not so great. You have Andre Feely, 9,300. I'm not too excited about. You have Tara at 9,200. I don't mind, but I'd much rather go up there and get Romanov. I think he's probably he is the best play on the entire slate. So give me Romanov. Just an unbettable fight. The KO plus 130, submission minus 120, just unbettable. Inside the distance minus 150. That's unbettable. And even like the under 1.5 rounds, which I think hits more often than not, that's like minus 310 now, which is unbettable. So unbettable fight, but Romanov should go out here, take him down, and finish him shortly after. Pretty straight result. Romanov breaks me. I think he breaks him in a round. Fade Romanov on DK. I will absolutely not be doing that. If Romanov scores 105, it's not optimal. I mean, on any other week, I'd consider it, but do you want to play Andre Feely at 9,300? Who else is up there? Do you want to play Natan Levy at 9,000? Do you want to play Tetsuro Tara at 9,000? It's a terrible 9K range. I'm going to get the best player of the year, really, in Romanov. So you can fade him all you want, Sean. I'll take that ownership. I'm going to have a ton of Romanov. What's up, Zach? How you doing? Let's move on to the next fight. We have Tetsuro Tara going against Carlos Candelario. And yeah, Candelario, a very popular dog this week. And, I can see why, this is a fight I'm going to stay away from. But, Tara is making his debut. He's very young, 22 years old. And I like what I see from the guy. I really do. I think he's a solid striker. I think the wrestling's okay. But what really impressed me was the grappling of Tara. This guy's grappling is no joke. Very slick on the mat, able to take the back and able to submit his opponents. Candelario, that's kind of what he struggled with. His takedown defense thus far has been horrendous. His cardio has been very bad. So stylistically, I think it's a solid matchup for Tara. It's just, do you want to lay minus 225 on a 22-year-old making his debut, not only in the UFC, but in the United States as well? So it's a sketchy spot. I think Tara should absolutely win, but I'm just not running to the window to lay the minus 225. And I'm also not running to the window to bet Candelario because I do think he loses this fight more often than not. But yeah, give me Tara to win. On DraftKings, 9,200. I don't hate him. If he's able to get the fight down to the mat, I think he can get some control time. And I also think he's maybe live for a late finish if Candelario does slow down. But I think the fight goes to decision is pretty interesting. Right now, they have the fight doesn't go at minus 140. I saw the fight goes to decision on FanDuel Sportsbook. I think it was around like plus 120. I think that is a pretty solid look. If there's a finish in this fight, it's probably Tara by submission, if anything. But fight goes, I think, is a solid look, but I'm going to stay away from this fight. I like Tara on DraftKings 9,200. And as far as a pump play, I don't think Candelario is the worst look in the world if you just want to fade the 22-year-old making his debut. But I do like what I see from this guy, but this is going to be a pretty step up in competition there. There's no such thing as a lock. There is absolutely no such thing as a lock. We just saw it last week where a minus 1,600, 1,800 favored and Dean Barry lost. Andre saying, after watching weigh-ins and face-offs, I am now changing quite a lot of picks I was not certain about. Which picks are you talking about there? But yeah, a couple things did stick out at weigh-ins. We'll talk about it. Mushroom, I like that third round decision call quite a bit. Do you have a line on that? Because I do think that's pretty solid. I think decision's most likely, but late finish could be potentially on the table. But yeah, I do like that call. We'll move on. We have Gabe Green going against Johan Lioness. Another really tricky fight here. We have Gabe Green, who's going to have the advantage in every single aspect of MMA outside of pure power, and that's kind of the concerning thing here. Gabe Green, this guy is a walking punching bag. He has been knocked out twice, both in the first round. I think if Lioness wins, it's in the first round, which is very interesting because FanDuel Sportsbook put out Lioness in round one at plus 430, and then Lioness by round one KO at plus 500. And everywhere else, that's around like plus 300. So if you have FanDuel, I don't think that's the worst look in the world. But yeah, Green should win. I get why money's coming in on him, but it's going to be very, very sketchy early. Green does eat punches with his face, and you do not want to eat punches with your face against this Lioness guy that hits like an absolute truck. On top of that, Lioness was the much bigger guy at weigh-ins as well. I'm going to pick Green. I think he has, way more paths to victory. I think he's better everywhere. I think he has the better striking, the better grappling. I think he has the much better cardio. But, all of that does not mean anything if Lioness hits him on the chin and hits him very, very hard, like I do expect early. So it's Lioness round one or bust for me. I was thinking about potentially placing a money line bet on Gabe Green if the line kept coming down and then hedging with that round one. But this is a fight I'm just going to stay away from. I think the fight doesn't go At minus 205 is solid. I think that line has moved to like minus 220. I see it like minus 250. At that point, I'm just not interested. Give me Gabe Green to win, but with not a ton of confidence. As far as DraftKings goes, this is a fight you've got to believe you're going to want to target. If Lioness wins, it's a round 1 knockout. And if Gabe Green wins, it's a ton of volume. I think he drowns Lioness and finishes him later in the fight. So on DraftKings, I'm going to be very heavily exposed to this fight. But from a betting standpoint, I just can't quite get there. I even saw Gabe Green around like plus 100 earlier in the week. I did not pull the trigger, and he went to like minus 150, and he's now coming back down a little bit. So give me Green to win. But if you think Lioness knocks him out in the first round, I think that is absolutely on the table. Tell me your lock. I'm on BetUS right now with $10. Nothing is a lock, not even Alexander Romanov, but he's kind of the closest to a lock you'll get. Yawn by KO, in my opinion, yes, definitely on the table. Dale taking a shot on Lioness. That Tara third round decision is plus 160. Yeah, plus 160. You're taking a minus 225 and turning into a plus 160. I do like that. Made changes on Collier. Yeah, Collier looks small. Connolly and switching Jocko to GM3. There you go. We'll keep moving on, trying to keep it rolling here, guys. Kind of a shorter show this week, but we have Natan Levy going against Mike Breeden. Yeah, just nothing on this fight for me. I like Levy quite a bit. I think he's very well-rounded. I think his striking's okay, but what really impresses me about Levy is going to be his wrestling's actually really solid, and then his grappling's like really slick, and then his cardio's good. Like, I really do like what I see from Levy. Mike Breeden, I'm not sure he's UFC caliber. He stepped in, I believe on short notice against Hernandez, got knocked out in the first round, but on the feet, I do think it's going to be fairly competitive. But yeah, I do like the wrestling of Levy. I like the grappling of Levy, and most importantly, I like the cardio of Levy as well. If he's able to get Breeden down, like, I would not be shocked if he was able to submit Mike Breeden at some point in this fight. Looks like the bookies are kind of all over it, though. They have Levy by submission only plus 260. You don't want to bet that. I like Levy here. I'm going to pick him to win. As far as DK goes, I like Levy on DK 9,000. I don't think he's the worst play in the world. I think he has takedown control time upside, but if this does stay out on the feet, if Breeden is able to stuff those takedowns, I do think it's going to be very, very competitive. I just see Levy kind of taking over as the fight goes on, mixing in those takedowns and probably winning a decision. But, I think the sub is on the table. But yeah, plus 260 for a sub is not intriguing enough to me. Nothing here. Pick is Levy. Don't mind some Levy on DraftKings, but not a fight I'm going to be overly exposed to, and no bet on this one for me. Paul saying Lioness just looks, he's not, I don't think he's great. I really don't think Lioness is great. But when you have power like that, when you have that kind of power, and you have a guy in Gabe Green who's hittable, he can win. He can win by knockout. Lioness is alive because he has that power. So, Lioness looked good. Yeah, he looked good on the scales for sure. Levy Mazzani parlay half a unit. Yeah, we'll talk about the Mazzani fight pretty soon here. I think that parlay cashes for you, but not something I do personally. Parlays and women's MMA just does not seem like a good combination there, Dale, but I think it hits. I really do. Let's keep moving on. We have Daniel Da Silva going against Francisco Figuereto, and you guys are probably wondering, am I going to have a bet on this card or not? And I am with this fight, and I'm going to have 2 bets on this fight, and this is one of the more sketchier fights on the entire card, and I don't recommend being overly exposed to this fight or really this card in general. Like, this is a very, very weird, sketchy card from a betting perspective, but I do have 2 bets on this fight. So the first one is going to be the under 2.5 rounds. So it opened up at plus 145. I was recording my breakdown video during that, and it got smashed all the way down to like minus 110, minus 120. And then a couple hours later, it actually came back to plus 110. I did hop on then, and it was around plus 110 for a couple days there. And now money's starting to come in on that under, and the fight doesn't go to decision, and rightfully so. We have Daniel Da Silva, who this is a kill or be killed fighter. And, shout out to Brandon in the Discord. He put up a very good comparison. He compared him kind of like a Terrence McKinney. Like, he's going to go in there. He's going to try to get you out of there early. If he does, he does. If he doesn't, he's probably going to get finished as the fight goes on. So I do like the under 2.5 quite a bit. I like the fight doesn't go to decision quite a bit. I like the fight won't start round 3 quite a bit because you have Daniel Da Silva, who's a killer be killed fighter. He's never seen the 3rd round. I think he's been over 1.5 rounds once. I think he got like a late knockout in that 2nd round, but never seen a 3rd. He's going to come in here. He's going to, he has really good kicks, really good spinning attacks, has a lot of power, and then off his back or on top, like he searches for submissions and goes for submissions quite a bit. So, And I also do have a money line bet on De Silva. I got him at minus 115. I kind of expected that money line to move a little bit more throughout the week, but it's currently sitting at minus 125. I have 1 unit on De Silva at minus 115. The reason being is we have one guy in De Silva who's going to go out there and he's going to throw volume. He's going to hunt for submissions. He's going to do things. And you have Francisco Figuereto, who's the complete opposite. He's going to go in there. He's not going to do anything. He's not going to throw any volume. De Silva is the younger fighter. We don't know a ton about him. There's not a lot of tape out there on him, but from what we do see, this guy looks to be a very, very exciting fighter. And a little bit more tape on Figgy, and I don't know, just have not been impressed with him thus far in the UFC. Losing a third round to Malcolm Gordon, losing a third round on all three judges' scorecards to Jerome Rivera, just not the best look. And those are like the easiest matchups you can possibly get. So they're trying to get Figgy wins. I don't know. I think Silva wins this one. I think Silva comes out here. I think the submission's live. I think the knockout's live. I think he's going to put it on Figgy, and I think he gets him out of there early. If it does get extended, that's where it gets interesting. But Figgy like slows down a ton as well. Like Figgy's so low paced and he's still gassing out. I remember watching a fight with Francisco Figueredo, and the announcers were talking about how even Davison, his own brother, said that he has terrible cardio. His own brother said that about him, and I agree. Losing a third round to Malcolm Gordon is a bad look. Losing a third round to Jerome Rivera is an even worse look. So if this fight does get extended, is Figueredo going to have the advantage? I'm not so sure. So sketchy fight though. Such a sketchy fight. 1 unit to Silva and then 1 unit on the under. But I think Silva gets him out of there pretty early. Mushroom liking the violence there. I like it. Dale saying Silva 1 unit. Yeah, I wouldn't go too crazy on this fight. It's a low level fight. Fake Figgy keeps his hands way too low. Yeah, it just doesn't do really anything well, honestly, besides having the last name Figueredo. I think that's the best thing he does well, is having that last name. Lacerda round 3. Yeah. Hot take. I think if this gets to round 3, he could potentially win round 3. Like his gas tank is horrible when we know that. We don't know if De Silva's gas tank is bad or not because we haven't really seen him extended. Yes, he was tired against Jeff Molina, it looked like, but that's Jeff Molina. He puts on a hellacious pace, whereas Figgy, he has no pace at all. What's up, B? How you doing? Dropping a like. Appreciate that, B. Let's make some money. If you guys have not hit the like button, please do so. What's up, Patrick? How you doing? Having a pretty solid day, just a busy day. Hopefully you're doing well yourself. All right, we'll keep moving on. We have Gina Mazzani going against Shanna Young. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you would have saw me put out a tweet, and I said, basically, I just put a moneyline bet on Gina Mazzani, and I puked a little, but it had to be done. I got her at minus 160. I put 1.6 units on it. It's terrifying, but my goodness, like this is a really good matchup for her. Like, I've been trying to stay away from women's MMA, especially low-level women's MMA, and especially laying chalk on women's MMA, but I'm just trying to figure out, like, where does Shanna Young have the advantage in this fight? And where is Shanna Young really good at? I'm not sure. The striking is going to be very competitive, but it's going to be Mazzani who averages nearly 5 takedowns per 15 minutes. It's going to be Mazzani who has a 58% takedown accuracy. And it's going to be Shanna Young who she struggles with the ground game. She struggles with getting taken down, getting held down, getting beat up on the mat, TKO, getting submitted. Sarah Alpar was able to submit her, take her down twice. We saw Stephanie Egger was able to take her down a few times, able to get her out of there with a TKO. We saw Macy Chiasson able to take her down a few times, control her for the majority of that fight. Gina Mazzani should absolutely come out here. I think the striking's competitive, but just take down Shanna Young and probably finish her on the mat. Gina Mazzani did slow down in her last fight against Priscilla Cachoeira. I guess that would be the one concern, but that's literally the one concern there. So monies came in on Gina Mazzani throughout the week, and rightfully so. Like, I don't think Shanna Young is UFC caliber, and you can maybe argue the same thing against Gina Mazzani, but stylistically, this should absolutely be a fight that Mazzani should win. But as we know, nothing always plays out how you expect, and betting on these spots has burned me more often than not. So I'm extremely confident in Gina Mazzani, but how confident can you really be laying chalk on low-level women's MMA? Just something that burns me consistently week after week. But Mazzani should roll. Mazzani absolutely should roll here. From a DraftKings perspective, I like Mazzani a lot. Takedown upside, control time upside. I think finish upside as well. Give me Gina Mazzani, 1.6 units, minus 160. Terrifying, but it absolutely had to be done. Mazzani's going to do her thing. Yeah, and she looked in really good shape as well. So hopefully She, fixed her cardio a little bit, worked on that. She came in great shape. She was like second or third one on the scale. I think she should be ready to go there. What's up, KO? How you doing? That bad Zombie and Mazzani sits in my head. I can't go with her. Yeah, I think there's a big difference though between Priscilla catch a beating and Shanna Young. Like Priscilla, you don't want to stand with her, especially if you're Mazzani and you're tired. But Shanna Young, what's she gonna do? Right? I don't know. What's up, Kristen? How you doing? All the best this next week. Appreciate that, Kristen. Let's keep moving on. We have Andre Fili going against Joe Anderson Brito. And lots of people taking the shot on Brito here. The money line is actually closed up. I was not really expecting that, but yeah, I kind of agree with the line movement here. I think it's going to be a closer fight than the line indicates, but I got to go with Fili here. Fili's fought the much better competition by a mile. Brito took a step up in competition. His last fight against Bill Algeo did not work out for him here, and then he's taken an even bigger step up in competition against a guy like Andre Fili, who I really like. You have Fili, who has fought a ton of great guys. He's been in the UFC for a while now. He's been in there for like 7, 8, 9. It's been a long time since Fili's been in the UFC, so he's got more experience, better competition. On top of that, Fili's going to have the cardio advantage, the striking advantage, and Fili's just really well-rounded. Like anywhere the fight goes, he's going to be very comfortable, whereas Joe Anderson Brito, I think he's going to look very good early here. I think he probably even potentially wins the first round. Fili's takedown defense is not the best. Brito can definitely take him down, control him for a little bit, but is Brito going to be able to get him out of there in the first round? I don't really think so. Or is he going to be able to keep that pace up for 3 rounds? And I also don't think so. So I like Fili here. I get the shot on Brito, but I think Fili's going to edge out those second and third rounds there, ultimately win a decision. But yeah, Brito, if you like Brito, maybe the round one, something you look at. Maybe the scorecards equals no action. The finish only, something you could look at. I think that was like plus, forget the line, but it was that stuck out to me. But I think Fili should win a decision here. But as far as DK goes, Andre Fili 9,300. I'd much rather just pay up 300 more for Romanov. And then as far as a pump play, Joe Anderson Brito, I don't hate him at 6,900. I think he has takedown upside. If he wins, it's probably an early finish. I don't mind that. Fili has been finished 4 times. So if anything, it's probably a dog or pass from a DraftKings standpoint. But as far as the pick goes, I like Fili. I like the experience. I like the well-roundedness. I like the cardio. And again, it's another step up in competition for Joe Anderson Brito. Bill Algeo is a discount Andre Fili. So something Bill Algeo does very, very well is that get-up game. His takedown defense is horrible, but his get-up game is very good. I'm not sure if Fili's get-up game is that good, but, we'll see. But I do think Andre Fili is a better fighter than Bill Algeo. Faded this fight? Yeah, I faded it from a betting perspective. I will have some Brito from a DraftKings perspective, though. Fili time, let's go Andre. Nice striking and overall skills. Yeah, very good overall. Good fighter there. Fili better on the feet, better on the ground, better strength to schedule. Another third round decision. Yeah, I don't hate that. That third round decision is a really good call, Mushroom. What is the line on that? Because I see the first being competitive and I see Fili kind of taking over as the fight goes on. Nice, can't wait to do you get Jen my money this weekend again. Yeah, can't wait. Always. Got Uncle Weezy hanging out in the chat. What is up, Uncle Weezy? Gotta love Fili here. He's better everywhere. Yes, he is. And Uncle Weezy's ass shaving of the week is actually Fili. And Uncle Weezy has been on a heater. It's like 8 ass shaving of the weeks cashing in a row. So you got to take notice. I'm definitely not going against Weezy's ass shaving of the week anytime soon. And definitely not here. Brito is definitely going to get at least one takedown. What does he do with it? Who knows? Yeah, I think he gets a takedown early on. But it's the cardio, the pacing that I don't like out of Brito. All right, let's keep moving on. We have Grant Dawson going against Jared Gordon. And yeah, I have a bet here on Grant Dawson. So I did place it right before me and Weezy's show on Sunday Stat Diggers. And I got it at minus 140. I have 1.4 units on it. And monies came in on Grant Dawson throughout the week. And yeah, I like the spot for Dawson quite a bit. I think there's some extreme recency bias on a lot of these fights, really. But this one more in particular, you take a look at the Glenn fight. You watch and remember, Dawson's last fight with Glenn. He completely gassed out in that third round, right? Which was interesting because I go and watch his other fights, and I never saw that before. And he said it himself. He said he's never gassed out that bad. Like, I've seen him go and win third rounds before. I've seen him go and get finishes in third rounds. Like, what happened in that Glenn fight, right? I think, moving camps, I think that was a good move. American Top Team, I like that a lot. I think the cardio is going to be improved here. I don't expect him to gas out in the third round again. And, kind of a hot take. I think Dawson wins the third round here. I really like the spot for Dawson. You have Dawson, who this is a guy that, typically does have good cardio. He's relentless with his wrestling. If he does not get the first takedown, he'll go for a second. He'll go for a third. He'll go for a fourth. This guy does not mind shooting 15 takedowns in a fight. I think he shot around 15, 16, 17 in the Santos fight, and he's going to keep trying until they get you down. And what I also like about Dawson, he's able to, control you against the cage. His cage wrestling is very, very good. And once he gets you against the cage, he's able to take you down. And once he does get you down, you're typically not getting up. But Jared Gordon, on paper, 50% takedown defense. That means he's getting taken down half the time. It seems like kind of a recipe for disaster here against Grant Dawson, who's going to go for takedowns. He's going to go for a lot of them. And then you have Gordon, who's stuffing takedowns half the time. Like, if Dawson gets on top of Gordon, I think Gordon can stay safe on top. Dawson is position over submission. He's not going to, go for anything stupid. He's going to get on top. I think he wants to bounce back from that draw his last fight and get a win here. On the feet, it's Gordon, but this fight's not playing out on the feet. I think it does play out on the mat. And again, the one thing I guess you worry about is the cardio of Dawson. But like I said, maybe that was a one-off. You go watch his other fights. He's not gassed out like that. And I don't think Gordon is going to put up as much resistance in terms of the takedown defense as Ricky Glenn. I really don't think that. So yeah, I like Dawson here. 1.4 units, minus 140, smallish play. But I think Dawson does get this done and gets it done by decision. And as far as DK goes, Dawson, 8,700. I like him a lot. One of my core plays. I think he gets takedowns, a lot of them. But I did a DK show with Monk, Weezy, and Luke. And Monk brought up that Jared Gordon, when he does win, he scores a ton. So I will be sprinkling in some Gordon, but I'm more on the Dawson side here. And I like him quite a bit. Weezy's saying, I bet Grant minus 144. Not loving the line at its current spot. Yeah, it's like minus 200 on some books. So, Dawson, a very popular play this week. I get it, but yeah, I probably would stay away around the minus 200. Yeah, you cannot go against the ass shaving anytime soon. Joining in late question, more Breeden or Candelario for DK. I don't have my lineup percentages on me right now, but I'm pretty sure I have more Candelario, honestly. Feely, third round decision, plus 100. That's not terrible. Plus 110. There you go. Yeah, I don't hate that. I think it's much better than laying the minus 225. And Weezy for president, I agree with that. Gordon, round 3 or by decision, is plus 225. Yeah, I'm more so on the Dawson side myself. But yeah, if you think Grant Dawson's going to gas out again, round 3 could be live. But I don't think so. Half a unit on Dawson. Sean loving Dawson as well. Grant Dawson, 17-1. I think he adds another loss to Gordon's record, and it'll be a finish. Yeah, that's another thing. We and Weezy did probability last night, and the probability model is really loving the fight doesn't go, for the reason that all of their losses come inside the distance. And Grant Dawson's a very good finisher. Grant Dawson, an 89% finish rate. So can't really count out a Dawson finish as well. And yeah, he did, Sean, for sure. I was gonna say one more thing, but I think I forget. But yeah, give me Dawson here. Breeden, chances of a KO win against Levy. Levy's a tough dude. He can take some shots. I'd say pretty slim, but as we know, anything can happen in MMA. But I think that would be Breeden's win condition, would be a KO. I don't see him winning a decision. I don't see him obviously submitting Levy. But yeah, let's move on. All right, we have Christoph Jocko going against Gerald Mearshart. I do have a bet here. I have a bet on the finish only, which is the same thing as the scorecards equals no action. I got it at FanDuel at plus 114, which was a shame because like 5 minutes later or less, DraftKings got it out and they had it at plus 120. So it doesn't really matter. I mean, not much of a difference there. But yeah, plus 114, Mearshart, scorecards equals no action, finish only. I think the line has moved a little bit. I think it's like minus 105, something like that. And I think there's still some value on that. Like, we have one guy in Jocko who has the worst finish rate on the entire card, 31%. And then we have Gerald Mearshart, who has the second best finish rate on the card, right behind Daniel De Silva at 94%. It just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, Jocko has one UFC finish. Gerald Mearshart has 1 million UFC finishes. This guy is finishing a ton of fights. And if there is a finish in this fight, I think it's Mearshart. But with all that said, I think Jocko does win. I think he does win by decision. Jocko by decision plus 200. I think that's completely nuts considering Jocko's a minus 165 favorite. Why is his decision prop plus 200? I think that's a good look. But I do like that finish only for Mearshart. I think if there is a finish in this fight, I do think it's Mearshart. Scorecards equals no action means if the fight goes to decision, the bet is voided. If Mearshart wins inside the distance, the bet hits. And if Jocko wins inside the distance, the bet loses. I really do like that spot there. But give me Jocko for the win. But as far as a betting perspective, I like the finish only for Mearshart, and I like Jocko by decision as well. Uncle Weez is saying, I have 2 bets here. Mearshart finish only plus 120 and 0.75 units on Jocko by decision. I think that's the perfect way to play it. 100%. I think it's a good way to play it. Only way you'll get screwed there is if Jocko finishes Mearshart, which I don't think is overly likely. No problem. Fern, Bird, Sean saying, I'm so confident in Jocko here. Yeah, he should win. GM3 on a roll. Let's go by finish. Yeah, if you like GM3, you might as well bet him by finish. It's all he does. GM3 by finish, you around that plus 175, plus 170. Over 2.5 at minus 120 is better than the Jocko money line. Yep. Oh, yeah, 100%. And I think that's a good call as well. 1.1 on Jocko. I think you hit your bet there, Dale. And did a Mearshart finish only as well? Yeah, I like it. I think it probably voids, but you got to take those opportunities when you see them. Jocko, a pass on DK. Yeah, fading Jocko on DK. I think I literally have 0, so hopefully that works out. And then Mearshart as a dog on DK is interesting. Jocko by decision is tempting. I agree. I love the finish only play and decision only for Jocko. Yep, that's I think it's a good way to look at it. Jocko's so much better on the feet, and that's where I think he tries to keep it. I will say he's better on the feet, but Jocko's so low volume that I feel like it could be somewhat competitive just because he gets so low volume. And Mearshart is going to throw things, and Mearshart's striking's got much better. Like, he looked better than people expected against Muradov. Even hurt Muradov at some point. So I don't know. It should be a close fight. Nick liking the GM3 by sub. Yeah. If you bet GM3 by sub in every fight he's been in, you're up a ton of money. So can't hate on you for that. All right, we'll keep moving on. Before we do so, if you guys can please leave a like, subscribe here to DFS by the numbers. Also, click the link below. Go over, subscribe to the MMA Engine. Lots of content week in and week out. I'm actually going to be dropping 3 early videos for UFC 274. I'm going to be dropping a main event quick pick video. It's going to be on my channel, DFS by the numbers, breaking down Oliveira versus Gaethje. That's going to be out hopefully tomorrow. If not tomorrow, then Sunday. And then on the MMA Engine channel, I'm going to break down Rose Namajunas, Carla Esparza quick pick. And then I'm thinking about doing Michael Chandler going against Tony Ferguson. So those are the 3 fights I'm going to get out kind of early. I already have all the research done. Might as well get some content out, right? Let's keep moving on to the next fight. We have Darren Elkins going against Tristan Connolly. I see people really confident on either side here. And, I don't see how. Like, this is the sketchiest fight on the card for me. I will have no money on it. I will not put $1 on this fight. We have Darren Elkins, who he probably should win the fight, but my goodness, this guy's taken a ton of damage. He's now 38 years old, coming off of a brutal knockout in his last fight. Tristan Connolly, there's not a ton of footage available out on him, and when we do have the footage, I mean, he's getting beat by, Pat Sabatini. He beat Michel Pereira in a fight where Pereira gassed out on the walkout. And then other than that, there's one more fight you can see of Connolly. I've just not been impressed in the slightest. But people are very confident either side here. This is a straight up pass. Like, there's no way I can bet on this fight. We have a guy in Elkins who, is going to be the much more experienced guy, the more active guy. He's fought the much better competition. It's not even close. And then we have a guy like Connolly where I'm just not impressed with the guy in the slightest. I really don't know if he's even UFC caliber. And he's not young himself. This guy Connolly's like 37. So it's a pass. There's nothing that I would even consider betting in this fight. I don't like the fight doesn't go. I don't like the fight goes. I don't like any props. As far as DK goes, I kind of think this fight is somewhat going to be important. I feel like there's going to be a lot of grappling, a lot of takedowns. For that reason, I do have some on DraftKings, but that's about all my exposure. I'm not betting this fight, and I don't recommend anybody bets this fight. It's hard to be confident in either fighter here, but yeah, pass. Big, giant pass. Elkins by sub. He will put Connolly's neck surgery. Yeah, and Connolly's coming off of a couple neck surgeries as well. Makes it even more sketchy, right? Drew saying dog or pass. Yes, dog or pass, if anything, but I'm more so leaning towards pass. Like, laying minus 185 on Elkins does not sound great. I could see Elkins getting beat until he wins. Yeah, that's typically how an Elkins fight goes. I have no clue, though. Connolly all of a sudden pulls a victory. I fear Elkins here. To be honest, I fear a lot of things in this fight. A lot. Nick's saying 50-50 fight. Always take the plus money. Good point. Yeah, good point. It would be a dogger pass. It would absolutely be a dogger pass. Connolly at plus 160. Maybe Elkins is completely washed, but I just can't get it. I can't get to this fight. Absolutely cannot. So far, fate of this fight, dogger pass. Yep, 100%. Benz, what's up, Benz? I got a unit on Dawson, Jocko, Mazzani, Tara, Green, Vera, De Silva. Pays 3,400. Feeling ballsy. That is very ballsy, but I think it hits. Yeah, I think it hits. There you go. But those are hard to hit. Very hard to hit. Connolly by sub plus 800. Yeah, Connolly by sub plus 800 plus 700. Anything can happen. I won't be betting anything here. Jussie saying, my new routine is study fights, predict outcomes to bet, then watch you and Wheezy talk me out of the bad ones. Great job, guys. And yeah, I think this is a bad fight here. But yeah, appreciate that, Jesse. All right, let's keep moving on. We have the co-main event. We have Andre Arlovsky going against Jake Collier. Another fight that I won't be touching. Another very sketchy fight. And yeah, at the weigh-ins, I could have swore, like, aren't these guys, like, on paper the same height? Yeah, they're both 6'3" on paper. But Arlovsky looked like 2 or 3 inches bigger than Collier. Like, I don't like either Arlovsky looked 6'6" or Collier looked 5'11". Like, I don't know what was going on there, but Arlovsky is the much bigger fighter. So that was weird. I was kind of expecting them to be the same height. Yeah, I'm not betting on this fight as well. I mean, it's going to go to decision. It's going to be very close. It's going to be very greasy. It's going to be very hairy. What are the judges going to think? We have to rely on the judges. Like, what are they going to watch? They're probably not even going to watch the fight. So just another sketchy fight. You're going to have Arlovsky, who is probably going to be having the better cardio. With that said, his cardio's not looked the best his last couple fights, but it's probably going to be better than Collier's, who does slow down after 6 minutes. You're going to have Arlovsky, who's going to be landing the harder shots. You're going to have Collier, who's probably going to be landing the more volume. It's one of those fights where I think Collier is going to outland him in every single round, even when he's tired. But he's going to look tired. The judges apparently don't like that. And Arlovsky is going to be having the bigger moments. One big moment for Arlovsky can wipe out a massive striking advantage in terms of the volume for Collier. What are the judges going to favor? Are they going to favor the volume and output of Collier that's not landing hard, or are they going to land the couple shots that land hard of Arlovsky there? And I don't know. I really don't know. So, yeah, I'm not betting this fight. Another sketchy fight. Like, this is a sketchy card. As far as DK goes, fading Arlovsky, easy fade there. Collier, if anything, just for the volume, but it's not a fight I'm overly excited for. A co-main event that I could really, honestly care less about. We already know what's going to happen. It's going to go to decision. It's going to be close. Who's going to win? I don't know. I really don't. Up to the judges, but it's going to be close. So, yeah, give me a Collier just based off the volume, but, anybody could win this fight, honestly. Draw. Yeah, draw sounds good. Don't hate the draw. Can't bet against Arlovsky in these mediocre matchups. Yeah, these are fights he should win. Arlovsky by decision, yeah. If you like Arlovsky, by decision is not much better. It's only plus 125. They're like all over it. Like, even the fight goes to decisions like minus 200 something. I don't know. Fight goes to split plus 450. Yeah, that's interesting. I think that's on the table, but I don't know if I want to pull the trigger on that. Too much experience for Collier here. I like Arlovsky in a slow dance of a fight. Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. Anything can happen. I kind of feel like Collier outlands him in all 3 rounds, but that doesn't mean he can win the fight. I want to parlay Candelario, Breeden, and Gabe Green. I would not recommend doing that really at all. I think they can all 3 lose, honestly. But, yeah, I don't know. Arlovsky could catch him. I don't think so. Arlovsky hasn't finished anybody in like 7 years. But maybe he finishes Collier. I don't know. But, yeah, sketchy fight. Not betting it. I don't recommend anybody to bet it, but looks like everybody's betting this fight. So I don't want to lose a couple years off my life, and betting a fight like that takes at least 2 or 3 years off your life. And I want to live a long life. I want to get old, and betting fights like this, it's going to take you out a couple of years earlier than you're originally supposed to. So not betting it, and I don't recommend doing it. All right, next fight, we have the main event. We have Rob Font going against Marlon Vera. And yeah, so Rob Font missed weight. He was the only weight miss on the card. I didn't think he looked bad. I just more so questioned his motivation. Like I heard an interview with Rob Font earlier this week, and he was kind of talking about, this is a fight where he's taken a step back. He's going backwards. Whereas Marlon Vera said he's taken a step forwards here. He said if he wins this fight, he's one step closer to a title, right? And then you have Rob Font who's like, I'm taking a step back. So I really question the motivation of Font. He's 34 years old now, just lost his last fight to Jose Aldo. And maybe that, I don't know, maybe that took off some motivation because he did not come in looking very motivated. He missed weight for a main event. So I questioned the motivation more so him looking like crap because I don't think he looked like complete crap. He did stumble a little bit after getting off to the scales. Looked like he kind of almost fell over, but you don't want to look into that much. I don't really think he killed himself to make weight is kind of what I was, feeling there. But yeah, I like Marlon Vera. I like Marlon Vera before the weigh-ins. I like Marlon Vera after the weigh-ins. And I do have 2 bets on this fight. Actually, I have a couple bets on this fight. So I have the first one is going to be that scorecards equals no action, which is the finish only, which is what we did for Gerald Mearsh right there. So they had it on DraftKings at minus 115 for Marlon Vera, and I put 1.25 units on that. I went to actually add more onto that today, but the line has moved to like minus 120, or minus 125 around there. I still think there's some solid value on that because you have a guy in Rob Font who, this guy's durable. Don't get me wrong. Rob Font's very durable. Did get dropped down in his last fight twice. Never been knocked out. He has been hurt a couple times. And then you have Marlon Vera, who this guy is probably pound for pound, one of the most durable guys in the UFC. When you think of durable guys, Marlon Vera is one of those guys that come up like a Marlon Vera, a Vicente Luque, a Max Holloway. Like all these guys are very, very durable. And unless Rob Font is bringing in like a steel chair or a metal baseball bat, it's really hard to see him finishing Marlon Vera. So yeah, minus 115, I'm taking that all day. And I wish I would have went a little bit heavier on it now that Rob Font did not look all that interested at the weigh-in. So not only do I have Marlon Vera, scorecards equals no action, which I love that play, I did sprinkle the round 3, 4 in 5 round props for Marlon Vera, and I've not done this in a long time. I was planning on doing it in a couple fights this year, did not quite do it. I almost did it in the Volkanovski fight against the Korean Zombie. Wish I would have done it there, but I'm doing it here. I have a quarter unit on round 3, 4, and 5, round 3 plus 2,000, round 4 plus 2,200, and then round 5 plus 2,800. Those have all actually improved since I bet them, which I was not really expecting. But yeah, I think round 4, you can now get like plus 2,600. Round 3, you can now get like plus 2,200. Round 5, not sure. But yeah, quarter unit on Vera, 3, 4, and 5. I think he gets the late finish. I think he breaks Rob Font. Rob Font not looking interested today. Missed weight. Where's his motivation at? And if you're not motivated going into a fight with Marlon Vera, he's going to get you out of there. Vera's going to lose the first round. We know how Vera fights. Going to lose the first, going to start going in the second, and then he turns it on in the third round. We've never seen him in a 4th and 5th, but you got to imagine 4th and 5th round Marlon Vera is going to be a very terrifying thing. So if Rob Font is not prepared for this fight, not ready, doesn't want to show up, I mean, Marlon Vera is going to finish this guy. With all that said, I get why Rob Font's a favorite. I think Rob Font is the better fighter. I think Rob Font's the better striker. I think he's going to be the minute winner. I think he's going to outstrike Marlon Vera. But Marlon Vera is going to be landing the much harder shots. He's going to hurt Font. He's going to have his leg kicks, his elbows, especially if this fight hits the mat. Marlon Vera is going to have an advantage. So yeah, I like Marlon Vera here. I really do. And I'm hoping he finishes them in the 3rd, 4th, or 5th round for like a very big night. But yeah, I like Vera here. I think Rob Font by decision is probably the most likely outcome. If you like Rob Font, you got to like that Rob Font by decision. Nobody's finishing Marlon Vera unless you have like a baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire. And even then, I'm not sure that Rob Font can get Marlon Vera out of there. So, yep, scorecards equals no action, 1.25 units, minus 115, and then quarter unit sprinkles on those 3, 4, and 5s. I think Vera does get him out of there late. All right, let's see what you guys are saying, and then we'll head out of here. If Vera wins, do you think Font can put up a decent score and a loss? It depends. Like if Vera finishes Font early, then no, obviously. But if this fight goes to decision and if Vera wins that decision, I absolutely think Font puts up a big score and a loss. Vera all day. Taking Vera by finish here 180. Yeah, Vera by finish in general is like plus 190 or plus 295. I think that's solid. The 2.5 pound weight miss is a big deal. That's not like Font. Something is going on. Yeah, again, I just question the motivation. Like maybe he thought he was so close to a title shot with that Jose Aldo fight, and then he's taken a step back, right? Like, where's your motivation from there? Weight miss gang, Font all day. Yeah, using the weight miss as a measure of confidence was not something I would do, but I guess, yeah, Font could win. I think there's a good chance he does, but the weight miss was not the best look if you like Font. Yes, sir, it's a 5 round. Out with the old and with the new Vera, round 3, 4, 5. Round 5 is only plus 2,100, and round 4 is plus 26. That's weird. Yeah, on a made of after 5 rounds. That is true. Dropping a like on your main channel. Let's make money. Appreciate that, B. Font has no KO power. Couldn't even finish a glass jaw. Garb. Yeah, if you can't finish Cody Garbrandt, I mean, you're not finishing Marlon Vera, right? Scorecards equals no action means, so say I have scorecards equals no action on Marlon Vera. If the fight goes to decision, they void it. You get your money back. If Marlon Vera wins inside the distance, you win the bet. And then if Font wins inside the distance, you lose the bet. It's the same thing as finish only, or I think FanDuel calls it like decision no bet. It's the same as all those, all the same there. Just a sacrifice for UFC 274. Yeah, this card's rough, guys. It's really rough, but yeah, looking forward to next week. Rob Font, about to be 35 years old. Dude might be getting too old. Yeah, he's not young. And 34, 35 years old is not young for this division. Congrats on the wedding, Brady. I'm sure you will look great in your tux with the weight loss. Yeah, down 94. Was planning on getting to 100, but that 100 is gonna have to wait. I'm gonna get the other 5 after I'm back from the wedding. Bro, just live bet Vera after round 1. Yeah, 100%. 100%. What's your DK lock pick? Nothing is a lock, but I guess Romanov. Romanov's my highest exposed, but I bet you already knew that. You think Sherman nuts up again? I hope Sherman makes it because I'm going to be like very heavily exposed to Romanov, and most people will be for sure. All right, quickly recap my action, guys. Not a ton of action this week. I'm keeping it very light. I already have a 2-unit bet for next week, and I'm looking at a potential max bet for next week, just waiting for them to get the line out. I'm already ready to place it. It's at a playable line right now on a book I can't get. So I'm hoping they release it sometime tonight or tomorrow. I'm waiting. I'm refreshing. But yeah, next week's going to be a lot heavier for me in terms of the unit size. But yeah, small bets here. Grant Dawson, 1.4 units, minus 140. De Silva, 1 unit, minus 115. Mazzani, 1.6 units, minus 160. Those are my 3 straight bets. Dawson, De Silva, and Mazzani. Under 2.5 rounds, De Silva, Figuereto, plus 110, 1 unit. And then 1 unit on the scorecards equals no action / finish only. Gerald Meerschaert, plus 114, 1 unit. 1 unit or 1.25 units on Vera. Scorecards equals no action, minus 115. I like that a lot. And then just round sprinkles on Vera, 3, 4, 5, quarter unit on each. Plus 2,000 for round 3, 2,200 for round 4, and then 2,800 for round 5. So, yeah, not the best card in the world. I might not even be able to make the card or be able to watch the card. It depends what I get done tonight. But what's up, Harley? Never catch you live. Always love the breakdowns. Have a great wedding. Keep going. Appreciate that. Glad you were able to catch it. We got Rob saying he loves it. I love all you guys hanging out on a Friday. So with all that said, I say we head out of here. You guys can please leave a like here on the channel. Subscribe as well. Go check out the MMA Engine. The link is in the description. May 14th is when I'm going to move the live stream from Friday on my channel, DFS by the Numbers, and then move it permanently onto the new MMA Engine channel. Lots of great things coming over at the MMA Engine you guys are going to love. If you guys like Contender Series, I'm not able to do Contender Series. It's nearly impossible with my content schedule and doing content earlier in the week. But we're going to have a Dana White's Contender Series on the MMA Engine channel on Mondays. You guys are going to love that. I'm going to love it. And just a lot of things going on over there. So check it out. Subscribe, all the good stuff. And Ben saying 106 watching. Smash the like. I agree. And then 302 Fight Life saying congrats on you and your wedding and all that good, brother. Appreciate that, 302. All right, guys. Best of luck. And we'll talk to you very soon. Best bet tomorrow, me, Weezy, Narco Cop, Eric. That's going to be on DFS by the Numbers channel 1 hour prior to the prelims. I think it's an early start tomorrow. So check us out there. But other than that, good luck. Let's make some money.